Sergio Moore ringside. What's the key here in the first round, Sergio?
First round is to get past that jab, that shotgun jab of Bivol. How is he going to be able to break that distance that Bivol keeps so well?
Canelo said he can't get off to a slow start, which he usually likes to do, Daniel. Why is that?
Because Bivol is a puncher that throws shots and punches. He has a large arsenal that he uses, but one of them being his punch count. So Canelo can't start off short and slow because he'll be backtrailing.
And he's going to throw that jab a lot. In his last fight, 76% of his punches were jabs. Talking to Bivol's team this week, they want to be unpredictable with the right hand. They felt Kovalev was more too predictable when he tried to throw that. They want to make Canelo thinking about that right hand for most of this fight.
Canelo trying to come around the guard, the high guard of Bivol right now with lefts and right hooks.
Tight guard being shown here by Canelo.
Same tight guard that he had in front of Kovalev, like Manic said. So that jab will be effective even if it's just touching those gloves.
Bivol's never been down. 11 KOs, 19 wins. Of course, Canelo has never been knocked down either. Left hand off the top of the head from Alvarez.
There's that right hand and stabbing jab downstairs. I want to see more body shots. Finds a way around the guards. He had a little difficult time with Caleb Plant. He finally found a hook for the right hand to the gut, to the right side, to the left side of Plant's shoulder roll defense.
Chris, is this going to be the way Bivol fights every single round tonight?
You know, that's the sense I got from talking to his team. They want to create the distance between Canelo and keep throwing that jab, because when they watch back the Kovalev fight, they know that Kovalev didn't hurt Canelo. But that fight was close on the scorecards at the time of the stoppage because of the sheer volume of punches, jabs specifically, that Kovalev was throwing.
Look at him throwing more frequently here. Round one. A good start for Bivol.
Bivol has better fundamentals and foundation than Kovalev. He has smart feet. Always aware of his positioning with his footwork.
But he has to gain the respect of Canelo, because Canelo's just walking past and down his guards.
An uppercut at the bell for Canelo.
I can feel it getting...
Now look who's in the house. It's Iron Mike Tyson. He was usually the smaller man going up against the big guys.
Absolutely. You know, he's one of Brownsville, Brooklyn greatest heavyweight champion and boxing's greatest heavyweight champion. So it's a pleasure to have him here.
So we're off and running. Round two here between Bivol and Canelo. As expected, Bivol has showered jabs onto Alvarez. There's more of them. Canelo doing a good job blocking those, but they're always there, Sergio.
Yeah, but he hasn't let go of that right hand yet. I want to see how Canelo's going to react with the strength of that right hand, whether it's to the chin or to the body, because Bivol does throw a nice, piercing right hand to the body as well.
So right at the end of the first round, at the start of the second round, Canelo trying to sneak that uppercut on the inside. Keep an eye on that moving forward.
There's a 1-2 for Bivol. There's an uppercut again that just misses. You can hear the crowd respond to that.
Bivol seems as if he's just trying to find what works for him. He's tapping them, trying to find the range, trying to see what punches he can land comfortably. But Canelo defense is extremely tight. It's really hard to get past that high guard.
It really is. That's why you got to be content with just touching those gloves. Take what you can.
And we saw Canelo Alvarez against Callum Smith constantly hit his arms. Do you think Alvarez might try to do the same to Bivol to stop the champ.
Yeah, in that first round, I noticed Canelo was landing to the left shoulder, so maybe he wants to tire out those shoulders as well. Keep aiming at those biceps.
Oh, that snuck through, caught the chin a little bit for Canelo.
Whenever Canelo starts loading up, even if you block those shots, they're still going to have an impact. Bivol's going to find that out soon.
Look at Bivol trying to be the boss.
And this is what Bivol has to do. Even if he makes it a little bit ugly, pushing him, leaning on him, he has to be aggressive. He has to make it uncomfortable for Canelo.
And Danny, we talk about Canelo having such great power. Is this more power than Bivol's used to, considering he's the heavier fighter?
I would say so. Canelo is definitely a jam-packed type of power fighter. So his punches has a lot of thump behind him, including speed. It's maybe a little bit different than what Bivol's experienced before.
Swing and a miss with the left hook by Canelo.
Here's Canelo going around the guard. That one pierced the left hand of Bivol, and Bivol comes right back with 3 or 4 punches of his own, backing up Canelo, which is something we're not accustomed to seeing, is Canelo take a back step.
Well, Chris, he wanted to fight a light heavyweight, and Dmitry Bivol looks the part so far.
Yeah, Dmitry Bivol looks sharp in these early rounds. He clearly has a good game plan, and he is throwing that right hand a little bit more than I expected him to early on.
There's that right hand to the body. That's a sneaky power punch by Bivol that sets up the right hand upstairs. I want to see more punches like that for Canelo. Not many opponents throw body shots at Canelo.
There's another uppercut trying to split the guard for Alvarez. But you can see when Bivol throws the 1-2s like this, he is scoring. And these are bothering Canelo, Daniel.
And you can see the forehead of Canelo getting reddened as well. So those jabs and those punches, even though they're not a lot of power behind them, they're still having an effect.
That left goes around the guard of Bivol. He's keeping that hand up high because he has to. Well, the game plan is pretty obvious for Bivol, and so far it's been fairly successful. Jabs, straight right hands, in bunches.
And stepping back, not giving Canelo a chance to break that range. Just maintain that distance, stay behind the jab.
Yeah, so too, when he's stepping back with his hands up, which is a good thing. You know, the last fight we seen, stepping back with his hands down, it wasn't a good.
And how about Bivol coming back after Alvarez landed those right hands?
And that's why Bivol's going to be such a hard fight, not only because of the jab and the footwork, but you're right. He pulls back with the hands up, so it's hard to pierce those gloves.
Again, a flurry from Bivol. There was a conversation, Chris, all week long. Can Bivol win a decision over Canelo in Vegas?
Watch your hand. I think he can if he throws punches like this.
We've seen Canelo in the early stages of a fight take his time and then start to figure out his opponent and wear him down. Sergio, do you think he can do that against this bigger man?
He's going to have a harder time doing it with Bivol, because look, Bivol's not going to stay against the ropes just like he did there. He's always going to have to fight in the middle of the ring, and Bivol is not loaded up on punches as well.
We haven't seen a lot of fighters come after Canelo the way that Bivol has.
It's an excellent round for Dmitry Bivol.
No importa el obstáculo, sigue luchando, sigue trabajando para honrar a tu familia, tu herencia tu cultura. Nos levantamos para que el mundo sepa lo lejos que hemos llegado. Estamos aquí para hacer historia.
Poco a poco ya le cantaste el brazo, güey. Ya le pegaste buenos golpes ahí. Ok. Algo de buscarlo al cuerpo, buscarlo al cuerpo.
Stay off the ropes. Are doing a really good job in the middle of the ring. Canelo, like we're nice uppercut lands right there, looking for an opening. This is what Canelo does well. When he can't find something going on the left side, he comes around the guard. Bivol coming back, not loading up on shots, keeping that range as well.
So a good start for Dmitry Bivol as we begin round 4. Canelo wanted to be challenged, Daniel. He wanted to face the best of the best. He's got a challenge tonight, doesn't he?
Absolutely, but I'm wondering when we're going to see the power of Bivol. As of now, we've seen defense, we've seen speed, we've seen movement, but we haven't seen that light heavyweight power that we know he has.
Chris Mannix, how do you have it scored through 3 rounds?
I've got it 2 rounds to 1 in favor of Dmitry Bivol. I think his combinations have been sharp. His jab has been active. Both these guys are very good defensive fighters. Both are keeping their guards up, catching a lot of these punches. But Bivol, the volume has worked for him in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, right hand to the body. You don't see, as you mentioned, a lot of fighters go to Canelo's body. Bivol is doing it here and going back upstairs as well.
Bivol's not much of a body puncher, but it's that right hand right there that does enough work. And it sets up all the punches upstairs afterwards.
Bivol doing a pretty good job defending that right hand of Canelo, although it has scored at times.
Bivol doing a great job backing up, not letting Canelo plant his feet, staying off the ropes, just like that. His guys touch the ropes, he's moving laterally.
According to CompuBox, Bivol has thrown 40 more punches than Alvarez so far. Canelo sit down on those right hands.
Canelo's been all power shots this round.
Trying to bait Bivol and open it up a little bit?
I think he is. I believe he is because he's not having no success backing up Bivol and trying to punch through a guard. So now he's trying to play possum a little bit and trying to get Bivol to get overconfident. Not going to happen. I mean, that's not his game plan. That's not Bivol's strategy.
Discipline is one of his strongest attributes.
Yes, it is.
Now Canelo starting to come forward a little bit. Massive uppercut thrown there from Alvarez.
By Canelo Alvarez, but was it enough to sway the judges? Bivol did some good work in that round. Both men did. But it's those punches right there that leave a lasting impression on the judges.
The uppercut has been the best weapon for Alvarez so far.
Absolutely, it's been one of his hardest shots. Leaving an impression 2 on Bivol.
Well, I think through 4 full rounds, it's pretty apparent that this is not going to be a walk in the park for Canelo Alvarez, who's a 5-1 favorite according to the odd makers here in Vegas.
But we've seen this before with Canelo Alvarez, where he's biding his time, maybe even losing rounds or close rounds. We've seen it with Caleb Plant. We've seen it with BJ Saunders, and then in a flash, he turns it on.
Last round it was Bivol who was coming forward. Start of the 5th, it's Bivol not throwing back as much this round.
Canelo is making a point to win this round and back up Bivol, make him feel his power. There's a big right hooks, overhand rights being landed by Canelo.
Oh, look at Bivol. Look at him go. Oh, my word, Bivol. And Canelo wants more of it. The crowd wants more of it, too. Is that frustration for Canelo?
No, I just think that's discipline by Bivol. I mean, he landed his shots, got the crowd going, landed his points, then he went back on control. That's what he does so well. He stays in control.
No emotion from Bivol. He's a boxing robot in there.
That's what you need when you're fighting Canelo. You need that discipline. You don't fight with emotion, you fight with intelligence. That's what Dmitry Bivol is so great at.
What do you make of his demeanor so far, Daniel?
Bivol's demeanor to me seems as if he's just trying to weather the storm right now because Canelo is putting on an onslaught. So maybe he's trying to just patiently wait, maybe let Canelo die down a few. But ultimately, his movement is still apparent. And so as long as he can stay moving like this, he can stay in this fight.
Another good jab and then a left from Bivol, who started out slow in this round but finished strong.
So this is the good shot that I was talking about, the onslaught that Bivol had. He was able to let his hands go, punches and bunches, getting past Canelo guard. And even though Canelo is normally slippy on the ropes, he wasn't able to avoid these punches here.
Hey, and those were some heavy shots that landed Chris Mannix.
They were, and Bivol's overall activity has dipped the last couple of rounds, but that flurry right there might have been his most effective one of the night.
And Canelo claimed to want more of it as he tried to wave Bivol back in, but Bivol not having it.
And the reason Canelo couldn't counter that onslaught and that combination is because Bivol wasn't loading up. He was just turning his waist and shoulders.
Finishing off with a straight right hand is Bivol, and again he connects. Very impressive stuff by Bivol. Canelo trying to land the right hand again. Let's see if he goes back to the uppercut that was successful early on in this fight. There's one.
Anytime Bivol's back hits the ropes, he gets right in the center of the ring. That's ring generalship, and that's the reason Canelo's having a hard time pinning down Dmitry Bivol. I think Canelo's going to have to be content with hitting shoulders, arms, and forearms in this fight because Bivol, his defense is too tight, the footwork's too good.
Chris, is this the type of fight you thought we'd see in the 6th round?
Well, I expected this much activity, Dmitry Bivol with the jab. I didn't expect this many combinations, and really the comfort level. We spoke a lot before this fight, but would those flights in the moment be too big for Dmitry Bivol? At this point, absolutely not.
He seems unaffected by everything as we check in with Sean Porter.
Listen, Dmitry Bivol supporters, hang on. I do have him losing this fight 2 rounds to 3, but what I'm seeing from him, I'm going to mimic what Sergio Moro said. Control, discipline, intelligence. Hang on because this fight might get tight the way that Bivol is performing right now.
It's already tight, I would say. Here in round 6, 50 seconds to go.
It could be 3-2 either way.
Canelo content to lay against the ropes, hoping he can counter Bivol.
Bivol looking right at the chest of Canelo. You asked earlier, Todd, if you look at a person's eyes or chest, Bivol's looking straight at the chest.
He's looking to set this right hand up.
You're around the guard with a left hook right there. I love the punch selection by Bivol right now. Just like Canelo, he's looking for an opening and land something big as well. Total focus.
Excelente. Chingón. Ahora pues, no me gusta tanto de quedarse en las cuerdas, mijo. Se va a quedar bien seguro aquí cerrado y cabeceando, güey,
Bivol throwing that jab to the chest, jab to the chin, but look at the intelligent punching right there, not falling off balance. Threw a shot, step back, Canelo didn't throw anything, attacked again. That is why Canelo's having a hard time breaking that distance. It's the footwork.
Do you see any fatigue right now on Canelo?
I don't see much fatigue. I see Canelo coming forward, but I do start to see Canelo's face starting to take some shots and starting to swell up a little bit. Start to see a little bit of red here and there from Bivol staying as sharp as he is.
I see the same thing, and I might even throw a little frustration on Canelo's part. If you look both at their faces, Bivol's the one that looks calm and collected with a poker face. Canelo's showing a little bit of frustration.
We know Canelo can turn things around in a snap. The fight against Sergey Kovalev, as we talked about earlier, was very close until Canelo changed everything in a hurry, getting the knockout victory.
Now this fight is resembling more of a Caleb Plant fight, I believe, because Plant, he was having his moments and a lot of close rounds as well.
Let's take a look at our CompuBox numbers as Bivol throws a few jabs. Punches landed in the last 13 compared to 6 for Alvarez.
There you go, see? Aiming at the arm, the left arm of Bivol now. It's ready. That's exactly the game plan that Canelo had against Callum Smith.
Do you think this strategy will work against Canelo? Bivol's good. Trying to break him down, his arms, all these different things. Do you think that'll work?
You know what? We're going to find out, Daniel, because right now he has to be satisfied hitting something. I like that right hook to the body right there. Instead of punching straight at the arm, just dig down to the left side of the body of Bivol.
Let's check in with Chris Mannix, who's in the corner of Bivol.
Joel, how do you think Dimitri's doing out there?
He's doing great. Really good in the fight. Canelo's not landing anything clean. The cleanest shot, Dimitri's been landing them. Canelo tries to throw, but Dimitri's been landing most of the shots. And he's a picture guy.
Was this part of the game plan, the entire game plan coming in?
Exactly. See, he's blocking every point. Look, they landed like 4 fights in a row.
Thanks, Joel.
I think Joel was trying to yell so the judges could hear. Look, he's hitting 4 times in a row. See, Canelo's doing nothing.
No, man, I agree with Joel. This could be 3-3-4-2, but Bivol looks like he's following the game plan a little bit better than Canelo. That's what I'm talking about with the frustration.
One thing I've noticed too is how Bivol is able to take the shots of Canelo. Even the arm shots, even the toe shot, the shots that graze him. He's able to almost seem as if he's not vulnerable.
And that's because he's been in with big, destructive punchers like Joe Smith and others.
Bruising and redness on the face of Canelo Alvarez. Bivol looks much better, at least physically right now. Canelo smiles back to the corner.
You really focus, you're doing well. Show your experience. Show your experience in there. Give us some water.
Here's Bivol. Canelo backing up Bivol to the ropes, trying to find an opening, coming around the guard. But look, that's what Bivol does so effective. Catch and counter. It's real quiet, but he's a technician in there. Doesn't throw a lot, but he lands at a high rate.
Just a moment ago, both of you said, hey, this could be tied. Maybe Bivol about around. There's some that probably say, wait a minute, Bivol's probably winning this 6-1, 5-2.
Wouldn't go that far either, but yeah, it's a close Canelo's fight, and I will edge on Bivol.
Let's see what Chris Mannix thinks.
I've got it 68-65 in favor of Dmitry Bivol. That jab is being used flawlessly as a weapon. Bivol is throwing combinations. He's landing. He's having more success landing punches than really anyone I've seen since Gennady Golovkin back in 2017-18.
And he just did so there. It's the 1-2 combination for Bivol, and it's been finding its mark most of the night.
Anybody that will tell you how Bivol will win this fight, this is how he'll do it. With the 1-2s, bouncing Canelo up, moving in circles, laying off the ropes, Bivol's doing exactly what he needs to do to win this fight.
Jess McCaskill, how do you have it?
I think Bivol is really pulling it off here. The comedy box numbers say it all. It's not just that Bivol is giving us great combinations, but he's stopping Canelo from throwing. So if Canelo doesn't have an output, he's not going to dominate this fight.
Look at that left hook from Bivol, who's now pushing forward like he hasn't done in a while.
And the Russian is bullying Canelo against the ropes, pushing him, punching at him, not giving up, not stepping back.
Yeah, it seems as if the tides have switched for me.
How about this? Bivol has landed double-digit punches in every single round. Canelo has not landed double-digit punches in any round.
Fell off balance, went back to the ropes. He wants to bait Bivol to make a mistake. Bivol's not giving him that mistake.
All the while, Bivol is scoring with these counters. So Canelo needs to come forward and do what he's been doing the first half of this fight.
The biggest moment of Dmitry Bivol's career, and he has risen to the occasion thus far. Daniel, would you like to see more body work from Canelo?
I just would like to see Canelo throw more punches. I feel like because he's down right now, that he's fighting in these spurts, he shouldn't do it. He should continuously, even if it's not hard shots, just let your hands go a little bit more.
Canelo looks frustrated and he looks a little winded to me.
Take a deep breath. How do you feel? Good. 4 rounds left. Do what you need to do. You need to be intelligent. Don't take so many shots. Take a deep breath. 12 minutes, that's all it is. I want you to come out fighting, okay? Don't leave your hands down. Get your high guard up there.
Canelo can be jogging around the ring, trying to get some life perhaps back in his legs. Some concern from Eddie Reynoso.
There has been concern in that corner the last 3 rounds, and there's a little concern in the eyes of Canelo as well, jumping off that stool, trying to liven his legs up.
Well, this is a better start for sure. Has Canelo finally met his match? The live odds, believe it or not, still have Canelo as the favorite. Bookmakers think Canelo's going to turn the heat up here over the last few rounds.
And history proves that it's hard to win a decision against Canelo in Vegas. Golovkin came up short twice. A lot of people felt Caleb's plan was having success. The judges disagreed.
Even Floyd Mayweather, when he fought him, one judge had a draw.
Exactly.
Let's check in with Chris Mannix.
You know, Todd, one thing about Canelo, having watched and scored a lot of his fights lately, he's often a very easy fighter to score for. His an incredibly difficult fight Canelo's in. He hasn't figured out a way to get to Dmitry Bivol.
But Bivol has found a way to get to Canelo.
And the reason he's finding a way is because it's his footwork. He doesn't smother himself coming in. And when Canelo wants to attack, he bounces back, steps back, still punching.
Now it's starting to look to me like Canelo bit off just a little bit more than he can chew.
This is the second foray into light heavyweight division for Canelo. He knocked out Kovalev, and he may have to do the same to Bivol if things continue like this.
Bivol's a natural light heavyweight, so guarding, putting his earmuff defense over is good enough for him to keep that strong.
The crowd roaring their approval for Alvarez.
At this point, Canelo's not going to pierce that guard. Bivol is already accustomed to that power.
Screaming at him, 30 seconds. They want to assure this victory.
Well, this is a much better round for Canelo.
And that's why they're screaming at people to work. Nothing's really landed, but Canelo's definitely punching more and punching at the guard of people, which is what he's going to have to do to win these rounds.
To go. Bivol having the performance of his life so far. And Sergio Bivol just doesn't even look too bothered, does he?
He's just calm. He's calm and relaxed, and then that's the reason he's having so much success. And then goes back to that power jab. He gets his work in, pulls out with his footwork, pops him with that jab.
We asked Bivol during the fighter meetings, do you think you can win a decision in Las Vegas? He said, you know what? If I feel like I won, that'll be good enough for me. I don't worry about the judges. Not sure he would feel that way right now, but we shall see. And look at the punches through round 9. My word, 110 to 61. Chris, are you surprised by what you're seeing?
I'm very surprised. Dmitry Bivol, start to finish, has had a really effective game plan. And Canelo Alvarez, one of the smarter fighters in all of boxing, often has a plan B, a plan C. When coming into fights, has not figured out how to get to Dmitry Bivol. And Dmitry Bivol, frankly, looks like the fresher fighter as we're halfway through the 10th round.
Well, Canelo told us how much respect he had for Bivol and told us how good he thought Bivol is. And Canelo was right.
And Todd, this looks in many ways like the first Golovkin fight, where Canelo's fighting off the ropes, off his back foot a lot. He managed to come away with a disputed draw in that fight, but Bivol, he looks like he's winning it.
Counter right hand snaps the jaw.
Doesn't look like he's winning it. He's winning this fight.
Daniel, what should Canelo be doing differently?
I feel like Canelo should be taken a little bit more seriously. It's good to slip punches. It's good to look good defensively, but when you're down, and I feel like he knows it's a large possibility he may be down, he got to do something better. He got to step it up.
I think this This is a fight where Canelo's heavy feet, I mean, it benefits him to keep his feet planted because he's so explosive. But when you're dealing with a technician with good footwork like Bivol, you're going to have to step up your footwork.
Well, Canelo is chasing greatness by being in this division, and he's going to have to be great the rest of the way to win this.
There's a restlessness in Canelo's body language. Right here, you see him trying to load up with that punch. Comes back, gets countered, and backed up. This is what I'm talking about. Look at his face. Look at how he's stepping back, how he's dropping those arms, how he's opening his mouth and breathing heavy. Canelo knows what's behind in this fight.
Well, we are entering the championship rounds here. Does Canelo have more magic in him? The pound-for-pound king. Canelo trying to get inside and work. Let's check in with Jessica McCaskill.
We are seeing some major fatigue here from Canelo. We see his arms up in the corner between rounds. That usually shows that the fighter is fatigued. I don't know if it's the vegan diet. I don't know if it's the pressure that Bivol is putting on and him obviously coming up in weight class. But Bivol looks very unbothered. He's even getting closer to Canelo here, letting himself be in Canelo's range, maybe because he's seeing less of kind of power from Canelo.
The right hand scores for Bivol. Let's check in with Chris Mannix's scorecard.
Yeah, I've got Dmitry Bivol in complete control despite at the moment 97-93 on my scorecard. Canelo Alvarez will either need a couple of knockdowns or a knockout to win this fight.
Mannix, how does the judges panel look here tonight? Are you confident they'll get it right?
I'll say this, it's one of the best judging panels you can ask for. Tim Cheatham, Dave Moretti, Steve Weisfeld, who I consider the gold standard when it comes to boxing judges. These are the best, some of the best in all of boxing.
Only one man has beaten Canelo Alvarez. That's the great Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight. He did it by fighting Canelo on his terms. That's what Bivol is doing right now. He fights him when he wants, but he boxes more often, stepping back and always staying in control, not giving up control.
Yeah, he's frustrated. With acts like this, Canelo is definitely frustrated.
He's been frustrated. Let's go. Let's go. Everyone thinks that it takes brute strength to beat a brute puncher, but it takes finesse and a game plan and technique and a strategy and discipline, which is what Bivol has been doing this entire fight.
Can you imagine if Bivol can knock out Alvarez? It appears he might be going for it.
He's going for it, but I don't think he's landing anything big. He's just pushing back and bullying the bully.
I've never seen Canelo with this type of body language.
Bivol is doing what he always does. He fights within himself. He doesn't get out of character.
Here's a right hand that splits the guard for Canelo.
Final round, last round. Hijo, es el último round. Da lo mejor de ti aquí. Ok, las cosas bien. Dos golpes, se mueve la...
So here's Bivol chasing down Canelo, who got underneath and went on a little bit of a ride. That could have been really bad. So Daniel, if you're Dmitry Bivol here in the 12th round, how do you approach it?
You close the show. You got a champion, faking another champion, but a lot of that coming up. You clearly dominated the whole fight. You need to close the show in dramatic fashion.
Can Bivol write his name in the books?
Daniel, I think he's in control right now. He should just stay behind that beautiful jab, not take any more chances. He did exactly what he needs to do to be in this position in this last and final round.
But if history repeats itself, he must know it's better to close the show than to have some foolery done at the end of the fight.
And that's the way we're seeing the fight, but who knows what the judges are seeing. I think it's safe to say, though, that Canelo has to win the 12th round. Bruising body attack here from Canelo.
But he's being brought. Bivol is accustomed to that power and he's strong. He's a natural light heavyweight. Those punches are not having any effect on Bivol.
Very true.
Was Bivol just too big and just too strong for Canelo Alvarez, who's trying to unify another division?
Too big, too strong, and most importantly, too smart.
Yes, Sergio, when it gets to a point where Bivol's in there, just that